to the Uncommon Transformation television series.
You are welcome to Akwa Ibom State, the land of uncommon transformation. Come and join us, live amongst us, and invest, and you will not regret. I welcome you.
The dream that Akwa Ibom State will one day become a choice destination for many is gradually being realized, with individuals, groups, and organizations within and outside Nigeria staging their retreats, annual general meetings, and other sensitive meetings in the country's land of promise. Week after week, visitors troop into Uyo, the state capital, for these meetings, which are made possible by the serene nature of the environment, hospitable disposition of the people, mouth-watering cuisines, as well as the world-class infrastructure put in place by the Governor Godswill Akpabio administration to make the state the toast of visitors and investors. From June 16 to 20 this year, nationals of no fewer than 20 countries gathered at Lumeridian Ibom Hotels and Golf Resort, Uyo, for the IMO Abuja MOU workshop for heads of maritime administrations in West and Central Africa. Participants from the organization, which works actively to eradicate substandard vessels operating in ports in the region, were amazed at the unparalleled transformation which has characterized the state within a space of barely 5 years since Governor Akpabio mounted the saddle as the state's chief executive. Their reaction came shortly after being shown round project sites by no less a person than the governor himself. The projects included e-library, Tropicana Entertainment Center, with the second 5-star hotel, the concentric flyovers, roads and bridges, both completed, and those under construction, among others.
We are highly impressed by the performance of the state government. We believe that this is one of the states, perhaps one of the very few states that can stand as a model for other states to come and emulate in terms of the discharge of the functions of governor. We are very impressed by the uniqueness of the projects, by the completion of the projects, by the quality of work.
We have seen a new Akwa Ibom State. It's a wonderful development. He's judiciously making use of the resources available to him. We hope his colleagues will emulate these sterling qualities He's really a very workaholic governor, very unassuming, very simple, and generally and apparently loved by his people, because wherever we went, people were cheering, jubilating, indicating that he is really the people's governor.
I did my third time of coming to Akwa Ibom State, and when you live cross rivers in Eja Akwa Ibom, the difference is clear. You start getting into some dualized roads, and then very smooth roads, and you have very smooth drive. So I want to say without a doubt that I think the people of Akwa Ibom have been able to, are lucky to have progressive leadership that is focused.
The maritime gurus were not alone in their tour of parts of the state. They were joined by members of the National Working Committee of the ruling People's Democratic Party PDP that held their induction and policy retreat in Uyo. To set the tone for their respective events, which were to commence a day after their arrivals, the state government treated the guests to a gala which featured the best of Akwa Ibom culture and delicacies on display, rib-cracking jokes, among other side attractions. Governor Akpabio welcomed both delegations and pledged the desire of his administration to take Akwa Ibom State to the highest level of development.
You've been hearing about the good works going on in the People's Democratic Party in Akwa Ibom State. You've been hearing and hearing and hearing, sometimes on television. Unto you, God has given the ability to be here in person, to see these things for yourself. That's why I said they are documented. You are very lucky. Now, when you leave the state at the end of this retreat, you will hit your chest and say, yes, I saw it, I felt it. This is not democracy of drawings or projects on paper. These are projects you can feel and touch from one part of the state to the other. What will I say unto the PDP on this important retreat than to say congratulations that you made the right choice in coming to a state that you will learn something from. And when you put it to practice, then you will have won the entire 36 states of the Federation in the next election.
The dining and wining over, day 2 marked the official commencement of business, and again, the host governor, aptly described as Mr. Infrastructure, flagged off both events.
The state is very strategically located. Of course, the flag officer commanding Eastern Naval Command has traversed the entire maritime waterways of the country, and he can confirm that. As a result of the International Court of Justice's decision of 2002, my state now has the boundary between Nigeria and Cameroon. And therefore, you can imagine how strategic it is. And of course, this is the right place for you to come to discuss. I want to thank you for the kind invitation extended to me, a novice in your industry, to attend this occasion. And of course, I'm obliged to declare that in the course of this workshop, the promises of God, which is safety, of course, development and peace. And those things that have assisted to bring about uncommon transformation will also assist you to bring about a common transformation of the maritime sector in the sub-region.
The idea of this workshop originated sometime in 2010 at my first meeting with the technical cooperation and cost-based control teams of the International Maritime Organization. The meeting agreed on the need for an aggressive advocacy for member states of Abuja MOU region on the implementation of cost-based control obligations of maritime administrations. Given the enormous resources required for us to execute missions to individual member states, the IMO and Abuja MOU agreed that it is preferable and expedient to have a workshop where we can all sit together and not just learn about cost-based control obligations, but use the opportunity to interact and exchange ideas with fellow experts across the region. It was further agreed that this first workshop be targeted at the deciding minds of maritime administrations and their top experts. We are pleased to see the great turnout at very high-level participants at this workshop, which comprises of Director Generals and the senior experts. The program, as you will note, is designed for policymakers and top experts who advise their various governments on maritime matters, especially on port and flag state obligations.
This is my very first visit to your beautiful country, Nigeria, and what a beautiful green city whose the global economy cannot be overemphasized. Alone, maritime transport through shipping services carries over 90% of world trade, thus making the most efficient, the most cost-effective way of moving goods, raw materials, and services across the globe. The International Maritime Organization ensures that the global trade is therefore conducted in a very safe, secure, and efficient manner on cleaner oceans. This important mandate of IMO is carried through the adoption and implementation of international maritime rules and standards, which are enforced by member states of the organization.
Declaring open the National Working Committee meeting of the PDP, Governor Akpabio told the committee members to formulate policies that will see Nigeria emerging as an economic power, while also urging the federal government not to leave entirely the nation's economy in the hands of the private sector, warning that this was a dangerous trend.
So it is a very serious retreat, which is meant for self-cleansing, which is meant for introspection, which is meant to chart the way forward for a serious political party in a serious period like this. This retreat is biblical. It's also there in the Quran. I said it is spiritual. But in those days, it happened also in Israel, when the people decided to move to Gilgal. The leaders of the various tribes of Israel moved there in selected form, few in number, and they said, let us go to Gilgal and renew our covenant with our God. And the PDP, the ruling party in Nigeria, has moved to Gilgal, Uyo, to renew its covenant with Nigerians. And at the end of that, God showered His blessings upon the people of Israel. At the end of this retreat, God would shine His face upon Nigeria. So whilst welcoming you to the state, I believe it's also my duty to report to you that a part of Nigeria that is entrusted into my hands after winning election all over is safe and sound. I always try to advise people that when you are given a position of leadership, leave the place better than you found it. If you do election in Akwa Ibom 10 times, PDP will win 10 times. That's the report of PDP National. Then in terms of projects, Mr. Chairman, we can't discuss that today because we won't leave here. The PDP, under my command in 5 years, has recorded over 4,000 rural projects. We have commissioned at least 100 projects in each of the local governments in the state, at least 100. And we have 31 local governments. That means you are looking at commissioning at least 3,100 projects. And the projects span from rural infrastructure, such as solar borehole, schools renovation, electricity projects, all sorts of projects, and sometimes health centers and all that. So today we still have so many projects uncommissioned. Mr. Chairman, I don't go out to commission electricity to communities because I don't want the world to know that there are still communities in Nigeria in the 21st century that have not yet been connected to the national grid. My commissioners do that.
National Chairman of the People's Democratic Party, Alhaji Bamanga Tuku, expressed joy at the level of development witnessed in Akwa Ibom under Governor Akpabio and said this would definitely serve as a model to other states.
After visiting your numerous projects this afternoon, I went back to the hotel and asked myself, how can I describe in one word the achievement of this executive governor and also I said, okay, let me try. I couldn't get one that can really describe, define, encapsulate. All of a sudden I remember when Badwe used to say, when he found almost impossible scenery, he said, wow, this is fantabulous. So it is fantabulous. In one word, what we have done. And I think the most important thing is, to me, what I witnessed when coming with you into the hotel. Usually, in some of the areas I visited, you find that the leaders of governments passing, they make sketchy remarks. But it's not with what was happening. They stop it and say, Governor, thank you very much for what they are doing to us. You know, these are ordinary people whose life has been impacted by his actions. The PDP is very proud, Mr. Governor, for having you representing us. PDP is very grateful. You've done a model which I hope the PDP states will replicate.
Notable names in the Nigerian political arena eulogized the giant strides recorded by the governor in barely 5 years.
Well, what Governor Akpabio is doing in Akwa Ibom has now confirmed that democracy is the only government that can actually move the people forward. We have seen a common transformation of a state from a rural area to a state that can be compared to any city in the world. I have now seen the need to preserve democracy at all costs because all that we are seeing is the dividends of democracy. And I believe that as a matter of policy, the PDP, which is the ruling party, should make it mandatory for its governors to come here and spend at least a week, so that when they go back, they will now see the need for them to do something to make their states as Akwa Ibom is. Akwa Ibom State has remained a role model of whatever we want to see in a democracy.
I was here before the coming of His Excellency Governor Opabio, and I have come back again after he became governor. This is, I think, my second or third time of coming here. The difference is very, very clear. In fact, it's something that one can call immeasurable. The thing that they call uncommon transformation is what I saw with the coming of Akabio here. He has changed so many things, not only infrastructure, he has also changed the way the humans, the people of
I can't be in a state like Akwa Ibom, where God has done such wonderful job, transform the place into another London, and I will not vote for PDP. It will be stupid. Because if you are voting for somebody because of performance, this is the first-class performer in Nigeria today. So if I live in Akwa Ibom, I mean, I will go and beg to get the party membership of PDP.
What the governor has done in 5 years will definitely beat anybody's imagination. Yeah, I was governor for 7.5 years in Osun. If I leave out the 2.5 years I did in Lagos State as military administrator. But what he has done is so marvelous and wonderful. It is one thing to have the resources. It is another thing to have the vision and commitment to those visions. That is what Akpabio stands for.
This is my first time of coming to Uyo, the capital of Akwa Ibom State. And I'm very much impressed by the level of development going on here. I think you people should continue to support PDP to rule the state.
That the work of the governor of Akwa Ibom State actually positioned Akwa Ibom State as a model state. And Akwa Ibom State is truly interpreting the manifesto of their party, the People's Democratic Party. And of course, the ambience in the state, the developmental strides of the state, and the uncommon transformation of the state begs the PDP to also come in here so that the uncommon spirit can also affect the new leadership of the party.
As the flags of the participating countries fly at the maritime workshop in Uyo, Akwa Ibom State, one thing remains paramount, and that is the fact that the nation's component structures are gradually gaining the confidence of the international community, with Akwa Ibom leading the way. This is made possible by the uncommon transformation which is going on in the state.